Hey everybody, it's Eric with the Preacher Boys Podcast. I wanted to jump in. This is not a normal episode, but I wanted to give a pretty specific update regarding the Eric Marczak situation. Now, for those of you who aren't familiar with this story, definitely go back and look at some previous posts. But essentially, multiple women accused Eric Marczak of basically preying on them, grooming them when they were younger and within the church. One of those relationships did become physical before the girl was even a legal consenting adult. There were others he began grooming at 15, 16, who he didn't engage in a relationship with until they turned 18. And so in light of these allegations that Mike Ray became aware of back when this all unfolded initially several years ago, he just treated it like an affair, had Eric Marczak step away from ministry for about a year, and then he was right back to it as the youth pastor at Hopewell Baptist Church in Napa, California. So when this resurfaced again, multiple women started coming forward. Mike Ray had a attempted closed-door meeting to discuss this, and he eventually ended up just taking that entire meeting, didn't hear from any of the victims, didn't do anything like that. Instead, he spent the entire time gaslighting his entire church and brushing it off as an affair, just made it sound like the church was being persecuted and we need to push through the valley, in his words. And meanwhile, Eric and his wife Charity essentially were packing and just kind of disappeared, and everybody's wondered where they are. People who are familiar with the IFB assume that he would probably end up working with another ministry at some point. So all of this went down in June, and you can watch the video of the meeting. You can see the methodology and the phrasing that Mike Ray uses to brush this under the rug a little bit. And so just a few days ago, 2 or 3 days ago, I received a message from a member of Temple Baptist Church in Powell, Tennessee. That's the church associated with Crown College, and Pastor, or maybe Doctor, but Clarence Sexton, who runs Crown College. So it's a huge name in the IFB world for sure. And I received a tip that said, Eric Marczak, and I'm going to include screenshots of everything I talk about, so nothing is missing here. So it says Eric Marczak is at Temple Baptist Church in Powell, Tennessee now. It seems he is probably working at Crown College, but I'm not certain if that's. I'm not certain of that part. This is Clarence Sexton's church. This is an old-fashioned case of passing the trash. I'm happy to give you info, but keep my personal info private, please. And so I said, how do you know he's being employed there? And he said, I saw him tonight. I was informed he works with the kids in the dorm at Crown College. It seems he works at the college, but I don't have any more details about exactly that. So I said, it sounds like he's at least doing ministry. Whether he's getting paid as a staff member is unknown. And so I reached out to Crown College, and I don't have a recording of that conversation just because of laws for recording private phone conversations. But I reached out to Crown College, and I just said, hey, my name is Eric. I'm just calling in to see if you have an Eric Marczak on staff. And she put me on hold for about 2 or 3 minutes, and I just waited, and then she got back on the phone and said, I can't get anybody on the phone to confirm that with you right now, which was a weird answer other than no. First off, to say I can't get someone on to confirm with you. And then it also seemed odd that she couldn't get anybody in the college at this point to get on the phone. And I'm assuming they have quite a few staff members there. So it was a pretty interesting call. It made me feel a little bit uneasy, as if something wasn't quite being 100% honest in the conversation. And so I also have Clarence Sexton's cell phone number. So I called Clarence Sexton. It went to voicemail after 2 or 3 rings. His voicemail was full, and so I left him a message that said, good afternoon, Pastor Sexton. I attempted to leave a voicemail, but your inbox was full. My name is Eric Skwarczynski, host of the Preacher Boys podcast. I had received a message from someone saying that Eric Marczak was now on staff at Crown College, but didn't see any information on the website indicating this to be true. I attempted to reach out to the college as well, but the receptionist told me she was unable to get anyone on the phone to confirm. It's been almost 48 hours now. I haven't received anything. I did receive an email yesterday at 1:09 p.m. From Margaret Lyman. She works in the Tomlinson's office at the Crown College. She said, Eric, I understand that you inquired concerning an Eric Marczak, and then she put spelling in parentheses with a question mark, as if he's completely foreign to me. I don't even know that name. And whether he is employed by Crown College. No one by that name has worked here, nor does anyone currently work here by that name. Thank you. So that email made me suspicious as well, just because, one, when she went out of her way to say an Eric Marczak and then with a spelling question mark is like really trying to make it sound like that name was super foreign to her. And then she specifically mentioned, is he employed by Crown College? No, he doesn't work there, and no, he doesn't currently work there. So it leaves open a little bit of room where, okay, is he working at the church then? Why was he on campus? And so anyway, I reached back out to my initial contact that had given me the tip. I was kind of wondering if maybe he thought he saw him, if he was confused. So I reached out to him, and I'm going to keep some of this message concealed because he does talk a little bit more about himself. But he said he is for sure there. He has seen the family there, and Eric as well. At a minimum, he is volunteering to work at the dorm, and this was confirmed by people close to the situation. They did confirm that he is indeed working in the dorm. And he said there was a service a month or two ago where Charity sang before they officially moved here. So they were visiting at the time. It was a Sunday night service, and she sang a song, Thank You for the Valley, which I'll comment on in a second. She sang July 19th. It was an evening service. You can watch the service online and see for yourself. So I did go and check the live stream, and she did indeed sing on July 19th, which would have been less than a month after this initial news broke. And I mean, the police are still actively investigating this.
Thank you so much. Beautifully given. Pastor's coming with God's Word in just a moment. Let's pray for him, have our Bibles ready and our hearts ready to listen and respond. And just before he preaches, Charity Marczak is coming to sing. Her parents, Dr. and Mrs. Mike Ray, are dear friends of our pastors. And the pastor's asked her to sing before he preaches tonight. Pray for Charity as she sings, Thank You for the Valley.
And I thought it was interesting she sang the song, Thankful for the Valley, because that was the same terminology that her dad used when gaslighting his congregation. He made it a attack of the world on the church instead of pushing Eric to stand up and pushing for Mike Ray to stand up and do what's right in the situation. At the end of the day, is Charity a victim of circumstances? Is she responsible for her husband's actions? Absolutely not. And I feel for her greatly for what he did. But just because you're a victim of circumstances doesn't negate your responsibilities to do the right thing. And for her to help step in and share the narrative that was being spread about her husband and the women that he abused, makes her complicit in this abuse. And same thing for Clarence Sexton, same thing for Temple Baptist Church and for Crown College. They have all allowed themselves to become complicit in a situation that is very cut and dry. And so I just wanted to get on. This is the information that I have. Again, it does not appear at this time he's a paid employee based on the information that I have, but he is at least volunteering. And this is, again, it's been less than 2 months since all this information came out. And that's a pretty rapid turnaround. So anyway, I just wanted to touch on that. And I also wanted to just say this on behalf of the women who were abused, victimized by this man, this is a slap in the face to victims. And this isn't the first time that there's been a slap in the face to victims by leadership within the Independent Baptist movement while a preacher boy gets to run free. But to get up there and to play the victim, to get up there and push a narrative that says that this is some kind of God-given trial on your family is disingenuous at best and abusive and harmful at worst. And so I would just urge, I know they're going to watch this. I would urge you, Charity, I would urge you, Clarence Sexton. I would urge you, Crown College. I would encourage you, Temple Baptist Church, everybody in the congregation to push for the right thing to happen in this case. This is a man who is a predator. He preyed on multiple women who have come forward. They've been brave enough to share their stories. And the least we could do is support them and not the one who was abusing them. So I want to give you guys that information. This is not a call to, call and harass anybody at the college. This is not me pushing for anything like that. But I would say if you are a member there, if you can go in and say, hey, this is wrong, and you can be forceful, I think that's important. I think that's the only way we're going to see some change in the situation. I just want to make sure to be very clear, though. I know this is a topic that makes people upset. This makes me very upset. But I'm not encouraging people to make threats, to be harassing in any way. But I am not telling people to be silent. I encourage you, if you are concerned about this like I am, call the college, ask hard questions, email Clarence Sexton, really push for some kind of justice to be done in this area, because the amount of gaslighting that's gone on in the last 2 months is frustrating to me, but it's even more frustrating for the victims. And it is, like I said, again, it's a slap in the face. And so, again, let's just do the best we can to support those who've been affected, and the best we can to call out those who are going to support the predator and not his victims. So I just want to jump in, give you guys that update there, and I'll keep you informed as I find out more. Thanks for listening.